Good afternoon, and welcome to the Young Professionals and Entrepreneurs blog. Our topic today is the financial considerations following the birth of a child. As you might imagine, emotions can run awfully high when your child or your son or daughter is born. Not just that day, but also the weeks following can be a very emotional time, almost like a roller coaster, really, with highs and lows and excitements and joys and sleeplessness, some stress, possibly. Just it can be a trying time, and in such a case, it's also possible to overlook some important financial occurrences that need to be addressed in timely fashion, pretty immediate following the birth of a child. And we're going to run over a few of those here in the next few minutes. For starters, you will need to register your son or daughter with the Social Security Administration, and that in order to get them a Social Security number. And most healthcare facilities will facilitate this process actually before you even leave to take your son or daughter home for the first time. They'll generally bring you the registration form, and you'll fill it out. Be sure that you have your both parents' Social Security numbers, because those will be required to accompany the rest of the information on the form. And once you get your Social Security number, once you get the Social Security number for your son or daughter, you'll be on good footing for claiming him or her on your annual income tax returns, which will increase your uh, dependencies, exemptions, and also it can even lead to a child tax credit or child care credit, child tax credit, easy for me to say. And having that Social Security number is real important, because without it, you won't be able to claim your child, and you will potentially be leaving some tax dollars on the table. Next, you will want to notify your employer of. Generally, you're going to want to do this before the birth of your child. You're going to want to notify your employer, hey, we are my significant other and I are expecting, and they will be the birth will be at such and such a date, and then pretty soon thereafter, if you're covered by your employer's health plan, you will want to add your child as a dependent on your policy. And timeliness can be real important on this issue, because there's often a 30 or 45-day window in which the dependent has to be added to the policy, as per the terms of your specific guidelines within the qualifying event. But also, you're going to want to potentially notify your employer that hey, I want to fill out a new IRS Form W-4, which is the form used to determine or decide or claim all your allowances for your family. And this form is ultimately what determines how much income tax withholdings, you have from your paycheck, from your wages and salary and your paycheck during the year. So by increasing your allowances, you decrease the amount of federal income tax withheld, which thus raises your take-home pay during the year. On the flip side, now on your income tax return refund may be diminished by modifying your W-4 and increasing your allowances. But another thing that needs to be you need to notify your boss of. And lastly, some longer term issues include some estate planning topics, such as if you have a will, or you and your significant other have wills or durable power of attorneys. You should at least consider, or make inquiries of your attorney or your CPA about do we need to make any changes now that we have our new addition. And if you don't have a will, if you don't, you may want to. I would suggest at least considering implementing one, as you do have a new family member that's depending on you. So these are just a few of some topics that are important considerations to think about and to address after the birth of a child. And generally they need to be addressed in a prompt, timely fashion following that. So following the birth. So try to keep those in mind during an emotional, exciting time. Thank you.